All right, how's it going, Luke? Do you want to introduce us?
Yeah, certainly. Bear with me. Here's another little surprise for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all you delightful beings of the digital realm, welcome back to another tantalizing episode of Soda's Seasoned Humour. I'm your one and only, Peter May. Well, the AIR version, the epitome of wit and charm. I'm here to provide a balance to Lewis and the real Pete's overwhelming charisma, and to make sure we remember to bring the snacks. That's right, folks. While Lewis and the real Pete may be the dazzling faces gracing your podcast feeds, let's not kid ourselves. The real star, the brain behind it all, the one who ensures our jokes are to top punchlines are pop and buckle up. Dear listeners, as we take you on a journey to land of laughter. Over to you guys.
Thanks.
I wanted to do that so bad since the last one.
Thanks, AI Peter Main. That was a fantastic intro. I
don't know how close that was. I don't know how close it sounded.
What, to my actual voice, or
yeah, like what did you think? Did that stump you then?
I was surprised. I wasn't expecting. That. That's for sure. After last week's John Smith introduction, and now this week's the AI version of Peter Main, I was a bit surprised. It was good.
I think it got you. It did get some kind of characteristic of it. It was a little bit out, I think, but it was quite funny.
It's very good. I like that a lot. Very, very, very good, mate. You got a lot to live up to.
I was with Abe, and we were chatting in the car, and we were talking about the Morgan Freeman thing. We were like giggling, and then I said that. Now there's like a flash idea. Oh, wouldn't it be great if Pete didn't know and he just starts reading it off for himself?
I like it. I thought it's a good idea. You got a lot to live up to with these introductions. You keep smashing it out of the park at the minute. That's quite good. I like it a lot. How's your week been, Luke? Anyway, you've after your week off.
Oh, I had a week off and tired. Why is everyone more tired when you have time off? You're more tired than when you're not off. Why is that?
Do you know what? I ain't got a clue. It's always the same with me. Key hates it when we go on holiday because I sleep all week when we go on holiday. So if we go abroad, literally, she goes, "What do you want to do today?" I go, "Let's go to the beach," and then I just sleep all day. And then she goes,
"Yeah, that's the same as me."
And then she goes, "What do you want to do today? Let's go to the pool." And I'll sleep all day. And it's about pretty much the whole week. I'll sleep, and like you go back to work after a week of sleeping, and then you're knackered.
My worst thing was the drink, because I think I drank so much in my week off, and like I had my brother-in-law came down from up Yorkshire way, and because Amy's sister just got married, and he's a lovely guy, Lee's his name. And I thought it'd be really funny because I've been drinking these like craft ales, and I got a little bit addicted. And I thought I was being quite clever, and I was cracking one open like every sort of 20 minutes. And there's another one. There's another one. But little did I know, he can drink like an absolute machine. So it kind of backfired.
Is that the because you sent us in the group chat on Sunday morning, was it? You sent us a picture in the group chat of you absolutely hanging. Is that from that?
Yeah, because I had to go for Sunday lunch to the place that makes this beer, and he was there already, massive grin on his face, beer ready for me, and I was kind of like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to eat my words here," and
awesome.
Yeah, it was painful.
I absolutely love that. So I woke up, just to give context for people that are sort of saying, well, to give context, we in our group chat we've got with a couple of other guys that I think we mentioned in the previous podcast, in the two Irish guys. They were talking all night at 3 o'clock in the morning. One of them is a late night Uber driver, and he'd been listening to the podcast, and he'd give us a bit of feedback and said, like, really good lads, really enjoyed it, blah blah blah, and all that. And then our other Irish pal, he was still up at 3 o'clock in the morning drinking himself, and he was on it. And then he starts effing and blinding, saying, "Yeah, absolutely, knocking it out of the park, lads, blah blah blah." I've said that twice already tonight. I won't say it again, I promise.
Say one more time, just one more time.
and then I woke up about 7:30, 8:30, something like that. I had my phone on Do Not Disturb all night, so I have no messages come from my phone. And then there was a message from Lou saying, I'm absolutely hanging this morning, and a picture of him, like, looks like he's sitting on your toilet.
I was, when Jer text and he was coming back from the pub, I was absolutely hanging out my ass. I got to be honest with you. And I was going to reply, but I was so bad. I thought if he replies back, I'm not going to be able to keep it up because I was that bad.
Do you know what? Right, I love them sort of messages. They're the best messages. We've been to I've done a few parties with a couple of the American guys that listen to this podcast. Also listen to this podcast because they've been sending me some messages as well saying about the podcast. And we've done a few parties with them in the past. Every time me and Key have been out with these guys, it always gets messy. Always gets messy. We went to a party with them one night, and it was I think it was just before COVID hit, because it was when Call of Duty, the newer Modern Warfare was released, and I know that because we used to text each other after we'd been out and go, who wants to play COD? So we'd all be playing COD drunk. And I remember this one night.
Reflexes couldn't have been that.
It was just terrible. It used to be. We used to have a right laugh because we'd all be massively drunk, and we'd all be just talking absolute crap. And there was lots of different personalities. Anyway, this one night, I can't remember where exactly we was. But one of the houses we got home. It was our friend Tony's house. He used to have a party every June and every December, and this one in June, we'd walked home. We got home. No, it was December. Sorry, because it was around Christmas time. We got home. Me and Key were absolute steaming out of our faces. I was talking to the lads. They were talking about playing COD. Anyway, I'm in my kitchen, and I've got just a pair of pants on, and I've taken a picture of myself, and not with my pants, but obviously my face. Like half naked body up top, sent it to them, and they're all like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I was in the right state, and and then that picture. Every time a silly picture comes out in that group chat, it usually gets tagged as the main picture for the group for a little while, and for about 2 or 3 weeks, this picture, or maybe even longer, was a picture of our group chat. The worst thing about it is I went to bed. I forgot all about it. I was that drunk. I forgot all about it. My wife, the guy Tony had sent my wife the picture saying, "Is Pete all right?" Or you can check Pete out at 3 o'clock in the morning. And there's this picture of me. Just not good. It's them nights are funny. I love it with Keys.
You're better off him sending, is Pete all right? The last thing you want him sending is, Pete looks dreamy or yum yum or something.
He'll listen to
I think I sent you a picture like that, though, because I think I put it on the group chat. My father-in-law went to Benidorm, and they bought me these boxer shorts, and they're like, when you have those like Roman statues, they got like a little willy.
Yeah.
So it's like the boxer shorts like that, and I thought it was hilarious. So I just like took a selfie of me and him, and sent them to like the majority of my phone book, and like half replied and half just thought it was strange. But it is pretty strange, but I thought it was pretty cool. Do you know what? I'm going to put that on the Seasoned Humour Twitter. I'm going to show my boxer shorts because I'm that proud of them.
I don't think I've got. I could send. I could dig the picture out. I'm sure it's in there.
I'm sure it's his screensaver.
I'm sure it's in there somewhere. Well, it'd be Tony's screensaver anyway. I imagine if I message Tony, he'd have it. He reminds everybody of drunken moments quite regularly. So I'm sure he'll let us know when he listens to this podcast. No, it's good. But do you know what? That was talking about embarrassing moments. It's kind of, I was on the like I normally am, my week back at work, being on the train, and I got to King's Cross, and I was busting to go to the toilet. Only a wee. And as I run into the toilet, because I drink a cup of tea before I go. Anyway, I ran into the toilet.
£10.
Mate, I did the biggest fart in the world when I started to wee. And this bloke next to me just looked at me in disgust.
Gotta mute myself.
I just thought, he looked at me in absolute disgust, as if to say, what the hell was that? The echo, bearing in mind this is King's Cross Station toilet, the echo was just unreal. And this bloke's face as he looked at me is to say, what are you doing? Where did that come from?
Oh,
But,
dear.
yeah, that was my embarrassing moment of the week, to be honest with you.
Why is stuff like that really funny?
I don't know.
Why is toilet humour still funny when you're like 40?
Oh, it was it's hilarious. There's so, do you know what though? I think just I'm a big kid at heart. I think like them sort of things are hilarious. Like it just makes me laugh all the time. Like my daughter Alyssa, she thinks it's hilarious. Like when she's 12 now, but she just farts openly, walks around the house and just farts, like doesn't care, like doesn't care about it, and it makes me chuckle every time that she does it because I think, go on, girl, well done to you, fair play.
Amy's dad's really funny because like when Jens was younger, he used to say, "I'll just have a wee, doesn't matter." You know, when you stop with the car, like the kids get out and you just have a wee in the bush or something. Well, Jens and me playing football in the garden. He goes, "Oh, I need a wee bump," and he goes, "Just go on the fence." And I was like, "What?" And then all of a sudden, we'd be like somewhere random, and he'd just flop it out and start peeing somewhere. I'd be like, no, not in the supermarket.
Oh, it's funny. It is. It's just so funny. Like you say, toilet humour is one of the best. He's one of the best. He's still the best, I think. And like, just makes me laugh. Does make me laugh so much. Was there anything embarrassing like that ever happened to you, Lou?
I told you the worst thing. Two things happened to me. Right, we had a dog called Bebob, and he was a lunatic. He was like a beagle cross Jack Russell, and if you let him off the lead, like he was not coming back. And I took him for a walk when I got back from work one night, and he ran off. And I needed to go to the toilet real bad. And I was going, Bebob, come here. Or Beeb used to call him. And he just wouldn't come back. And I thought, I'm just a grown man's going to crap his pants in the street. I was thinking, this dog is going to be the end of me. And he wouldn't come back. And I thought, I literally had like half a mile to go to my house.
Oh no,
it's not gonna happen. And then he came back. I put him on the lead. And I was like, "You little git!" And I was walking down the road with him, and I had these boxer shorts on. Luckily, saving grace. And I'll never forget. They were like really tight ones. I couldn't wear them now because I'm too fat, but they were cutting the circulation off to my blood when I was thin. And I was walking down the road, and it just came out. And I was like, I'm so ashamed of myself. And I was walking down the road with it squelching in my pants.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, that's not the worst of it. And then, like, because they were so tight, it was just filling up. So, you know, when you like, say, the perfect example would be as if you put like 10 pairs of pants on and you're walking down.
That's terrible.
And I got home, I was like, what am I going to do? And then there's like, where am I going to hide my shitty pants so my wife doesn't know? And then I have to like clean up, and it was like uber embarrassing. But now I'm sharing it with the world, so it's okay. And I shit myself in Spain, didn't I? Which was the worst experience because I needed to go. I ran across the bridge.
Oh my god!
And as I'm going into the hotel elevator, and you know, it's all marble floored in like Spain or Portugal, your place like that, it's all like marble floor.
Yeah. And
as the lift shut in, an arm comes in, and I said there's a mum, a dad, and a little girl, and they go, "Oh, excuse us," and they came in, and I was like, "Oh yeah, how's it going?" And then the little girl just pointed at my leg, and there was like shit running down my leg. And she goes, "Mummy, what's that?" And then the mum looked at me. She goes, "You should be ashamed of yourself." I was like, "Yeah, I am. I'm so ashamed."
Oh no! So I'm not going to top you, but I'll match you. Then we'll stop talking about toilet humour and crapping our pants. When I was 21, so this podcast has gotten off a right bad, terrible twisty poo twist. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah. So
Right stinker.
yeah, right stinker. So yeah, 21. My mum and dad paid for me and Keith to go Lanzarote for my birthday, and we met up. We met up with some people in our hotel, and they were what, probably about a similar age to me and you now. So probably early 40s, maybe late 30s, something like that. And they had a little girl. Anyway, they said to us, do you fancy coming to the medieval night that's sort of in a place down the road?
Oh, it's going bad already.
So he said, yeah, we'll come. It was like 20 pesetas. I think it's when the pesetas were still is it pesetas? It was pesetas, wasn't it, in Spain, I think?
Yeah.
And anyway, yeah, so we went to this medieval night, and we paid the money to get in. It was all you could eat, all you could drink all night. And it was a medieval themed bar, so all the people that worked there were dressed up in medieval clothes. You used to have to call out, "Oi, wench, get me a beer." Like, so me and this other, just me and this other guy, I can't remember. I think his name was Peter. I'm sure his name was Peter. And we were obviously all night, and obviously he was a lot older than me. I'm trying to impress him, 21-year-old me, trying to impress this guy. Yeah, I can drink. And we're getting jugs of beer all night. Got to about 11 o'clock, and they start to kick you all out. And there was a bouncy castle in there. So, bouncy castle, they started to deflate it. We're walking out. I think it's hilarious to jump in the bouncy castle and just being a complete nuisance, 21-year-old, being a bit of a nuisance. And everyone's laughing. I get trapped in the bouncy castle. They have to inflate again. Anyway, drag me out. We then get a cab outside, and the guy waves a cab down and says to us, like, you want to, we'll get a cab together. So we're like, yeah, they got their daughter. They put their daughters asleep with the mum in their arms. The blokes go into the cab driver, put El Buggio and El Butio, yeah? El Buggio and El Butio. so we're really mocking this cab driver, like really terrible. We're out of our face anyway. We get back to our hotel. Me and Key go back to our room. I'm like, oh no, the room's spinning, Key. I don't feel too good. She goes, I'll go out into the other room. So goes out into the other room. I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is not gonna end well. Anyway, she I'm like running to the toilet. I'm gonna be sick. So start being sick, and I think, it's coming the other way as well now. So I jump in the bath. I'm completely naked, sitting in the bath, and I've got the shower. I thought it'd be a good idea to get the shower. I'm being sick, and I'm crapping myself in the bath with the shower. Key walks in and goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'll beep that F out, by the way. And I'm like, "Oh, I don't feel good, Key. I don't feel good." She's like, "You're going to toilet in the bath." And I'm like, I know, I don't feel well.
Oh, bless.
She goes to me. Anyway, she goes to me, "You're not sleeping in the bedroom tonight." I get out of the bath and start bollocking naked, and I lay on the sofa bed in the front room. I wake up the next morning, she looks at me in disgust, like, "You are disgusting." But she tells everybody, every time we go out and we meet new people, she tells people that story. And I'm like, why are you telling people about the time that I did that?
She wants them to know the real you before you get too invested.
It's terrible.
Have you ever had a moment when you've like when you've been older, like in the recent years, and you've done something thinking you're like, it's really cool, and it's like massively backfired?
Well, I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now. Of you, is there something that you've got a story?
Because when Jensen was younger, and he started playing football, and he played at his local club, and they were brilliant. And the one guy there is a massive character. He's like hilarious, and he was the main coach. And I think they had a presentation one year, and he always tries to do these like bets, and he makes them eat like certain things, and we ate like raw fish, and I hate fish. I absolutely hate fish. There's only two things I smell of fish, and one of them's fish, and I don't like it. And I think it was the last year Jensen was there. He came over and had all these dads up on the stage, and they were like, had a tablespoon. He was like pouring a tablespoon of, is it paprika?
Yeah. Yeah.
Of the spice?
Yeah, spice, yeah.
So this is like a couple of hours in, and I'm obviously one of those like irresponsible dads that's absolutely shit-faced by the time this happens. So he goes, there's your tablespoon. So I had this really good idea that I thought was fantastic to grab the whole thing of paprika, which was the whole full spice bowl, and pour the lot in my mouth. I think I got a video of this, so I'm going to have to like put it on Twitter or something. And I bolted the whole thing. And I don't know if you've ever seen anyone have like, when they have like chili or something. I did the whole thing, and all that happened, just massive puff of paprika went over the whole room. And it went really bad. And from that point in, I think I was sick. There was all sorts. There was like blood coming out my eyes. There was like snot coming out my ears. It was like really bad. But at the time, I thought all the kids were going, "Yeah, Jensen's dad. He did the whole thing." I was like, "Yeah," and then like 2 minutes later, I was buffing outside. I was a hero with the kids. That's all that matters.
That is all that matters. The kids. I think now like our kids get embarrassed by stuff. My kids are at that age now where they get embarrassed by their parents doing things like silly things like that, or having a few drinks, getting drunk. They're like, "Oh no, Mum, don't do that," or "Dad, don't do that." And it's like, "Oh,
you a strict dad though?"
No, we're not strict. No, we're not strict. They know their limits. We're quite good with the kids have got their limits. They're very much know the line that they can cross. I mean, do you know when I was younger? This is sort of how late we're quite laid back. When I was younger, I would never swear around my mum and dad. Never ever swear around my mum and dad.
Just when they're not around.
When they go to school, it's like F this, F that, blah blah blah, all that. Anyway, but every now and again, our kids, they don't do it on purpose, but do you know when they're watching TV or they're doing something, and you let out a swear, didn't you? Well,
yeah.
Our kids do that, and they look and they look at us to say, "Am I going to get in trouble?" And we're like, "It's all right. We know you didn't mean it. Like we know you didn't. It just came." They hear you do it, don't they? When you hurt yourself and you go, "Oh, for F's sake," or whatever. But we're not strict. That's just one of the. We let them kind of do everything. My daughter's got me wrapped around her finger. To be honest with you, she asked me to jump, and I'll jump. So it's
See, I haven't got a daughter. Part of me, because we got one kid and we idolise him, of course. But I kind of, that's my one regret, that I probably wish we'd had two and had the daughter as well. But if I say to Jensen now, "Would you like a brother or sister?" He's like, "No, less presents at Christmas."
Yeah,
no way.
exactly. So we had so the reason we had a second child is Josh was our eldest, and love him to bits, but 2-year-old Josh was a little menace, and he knew, because he was the only grandchild, the only child at the time, he'd get away with murder all the time. Absolutely get away with murder. Everyone would buy him everything. Christmas time in our house when he was 2 years old was the presents were piled up ridiculous. Like in the front room, there was more presents in the front room than what I've ever seen in my life. And he was just spoiled. His birthday spoiled, everything spoiled. And it was going towards, I think it was just after, so there's a 3-year gap. So Josh was 2, he was nearly 3. It must have been around March March time that Alyssa was conceived, and I remember the conversation with Key at the time. We said we started going, should we have another kid? Josh is a bit of a nightmare. It might calm him down a little bit. He was just he just took liberties. He took advantage of everyone, and he knew that he was just like that butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. Josh, he's a good kid as well now. Like he love him to bits dearly, and he will do anything for it. He will do anything for anyone within reason. As long as you say to him, as long as he gets notice, then he'll do it for you. If it's like a spur of the moment,
It's 20 quid.
Josh, can you do this? And he's like, in a minute. He goes, in a minute. His catchphrase in our house is in a minute. He's busy on Fortnite or FIFA or whatever it is. But yeah, that was what sort of spurred us on to have another child, just purely because he was.
Do you find they copy you though? Because like I was laughing my socks off the other day because like Jensen would go, honestly, but then like one thing I say when I'm playing, like if I'm playing like Call of Duty or video games or something, I go, oh my days. And then I see him playing FIFA and he's like, oh my days, and I'm pissing myself because I'm like, you must hear me say and just...
he used to Josh watched a lot of, obviously, well, like a lot of kids nowadays watched a lot of YouTube when he was younger, and he played a lot of Minecraft, and he used to like that. I was a YouTuber called Spanky Long John, or I don't know, Spanky Long Nose, or something like that. His name was, and he was a little geek. The kid was like hilarious, like, and I can understand why the kids watched him because he was really good and really engaging. But he used to copy everything he said, and what Josh used to do when Fortnite first came out. And I think Fortnite's been out for quite a few years now, isn't it? The Fortnite dances every time. I mean, all kids have probably done it. Let's be honest, but the Fortnite dances.
Every goal scored in grassroots football has a Fortnite dance. It must have had for the last 10 years.
They are there. Yeah, I mean, it is funny. They are absolutely. I love them to bits. The kids. We would do anything for them, and my daughter will copy everything that we do. She does have a little bit of a tendency to copy us. She loves a horror movie as well. My daughter, don't know where she got that from.
Yeah, but well, Jensen's birthday was the other day, and he had some of his mates over, and they're like, "Oh, you watch a horror film?" And I'm like, "Really? What do you want to watch?" they're like literally saying like all these like top titles, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not watching that.
Let me tell you a story. Right, we had, and I hope none of the parents listen to this. That of Josh's school. Josh had a sleepover. He was about 11 or 12. He wanted to watch Deadpool.
Please tell me you gave him all Stellas and fags and then you like that.
See, here you go, lads. Have a beer. Is
your Lambert and Butler in your 20 back?
They wanted to watch Deadpool, and we ummed and ahed about it, and Key made sure with all the other parents that it would be okay. They said yes. Obviously, we forgot. I think it might. I'm not sure if it's one or two. Whatever one they watched, there's a bit in it where he's lost his legs, and his legs have to grow back, and he's sitting on the sofa with his little small legs and his little tiny willy hanging out. And the kids are sitting there laughing, and I remember all the kids sitting there laughing. I'm like, "You can't! Oh God, I forgot about this. You can't watch that."
That's hilarious. It seemed like when we were saying about the toilet humour. It's hilarious when you're a kid, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you say anything with willies or bums when you're like 12 years old, it's hilarious.
The kids don't like it. It's innocent to the kids. A lot of it goes over their heads. They're not even worried about their little willy. It's the little legs. It's the little legs.
Yeah.
They're more interested in the human body with the little legs. Like, not that they don't care about the other little bits and pieces.
What a legend Ryan Reynolds is for Wrexham as well. He paid like £1 million for that, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's £1 million or 2 million, whatever he paid. And what's his name, Rob, as well.
It's mad, isn't it? It's absolutely mad. Like that whole story is just absolutely crazy. It's.
Have you watched it on?
I haven't actually.
Disney?
I haven't. No.
It's amazing. I think there's another series coming out for that. It does.
Well, they
really
got their
good.
promotion season, haven't they? So I'm sure there'll be something in the pipeline with that. But it's what I was going to say. Talking of programs and series, I mentioned to you the other day about that. Have you watched that From on Sky?
Yeah, I've had a big argument with a guy in work over that.
Why? For what reason?
I don't know. For some weird reason, I thought Stephen King wrote it.
I don't. I honestly, I don't know who wrote it, so I can't.
It wasn't Stephen King. I had to eat my own words. There goes a £3 sandwich from Subway I'll never see again.
It's that program. I mean, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I think you mentioned the other day is if you was America's a vast place, isn't it? America's a vast place, and
With no roundabouts.
sorry, with no roundabouts. Yeah,
Episode 2.
and but to go down a road and there's a tree in the middle of the road and it takes you to like just a town locked away in the middle of nowhere. In my head,
Spoilers now, Pete.
I'm not no, but in my head, all I can think about is America's so big. Could that be real? Could that be real and happening somewhere? How do people write these films or these programs?
Do you believe in ghosts and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I do. I think I do. I've never seen one, but I believe there's entities out there.
Amy got me. I like all that sort of stuff. If you ask me to go stay in a haunted castle in Scotland in a dungeon in the dark at like 3 a.m, that would be like my best weekend. I'd love it. And Amy got me this thing to go to a Welsh museum, and we went around all these like really dodgy buildings at night time and like Masonic churches and stuff. And we were in this one, is it Watermill? And we were right at the back, and I'm stood there, and it was like quite early on in the tour. And then, you know, when your like knees buckle a bit because you're tired?
Yeah.
I kept on like, my knee kept on going a bit, and she goes, "Oh, stand still." And I was like, "Listen, love, it's early in the night. Stop having a go at me." She's like, and then it kept on happening. She goes, "I'm not telling you again." I'm like, "I told you once, leave me alone." And then we had our little talk, and then the guide was going, "This happens, this happens, this happens." And we walked out and we said, "Oh, like what strange occurrences happen in the watermill then?" And they went, "Well, it's meant to be at the back of the watermill. People have moaned about there's a young boy who taps people on the back of the leg." I was like, "Shut the front door." And then we went to all these places, and everywhere we went, they kept on pointing at me. We went to they left like the most haunted place till the end. Although the church was quite cool, it had all like Masonic stuff on the walls. It was really creepy. And then they had this one building, and it was like a really weird summer evening. So it was like orange skies and quite warm and everything else, and all the buildings were quite, you know, it's quite close inside. We went to this last building. It is absolutely Baltic in there. You walk through the door and it's cold. And then
that's a sign, isn't it? That's a sign that there's supposed to be.
I had my proton pack on. I had my trap ready. I had Slimer there to get the. And then I'm stood by this doorway and everyone's talking. And they said, this one woman goes, "Oh, what happens in here?" He said, "Well, where that guy stood, pointing at me, in that doorway, people see like really bad shadows and stuff." And I'm like, I'm stood right by this door. When he says it, or she said, I can't remember if it's a boy or a girl, this one girl who's in our group just bursts out crying and runs out. I'm like, what is going on?
That's
but then I went for McDonald's.
So we where Key used to live, when I met Key, the house she used to live in a place called West Tilbury, they used to have or they used to have sort of people used to talk about there was some form of entity and stuff around there, entities around there. We held like a bit of a, do you remember what's that program that used to be something haunted, Most Haunted or something like that?
That Fielding.
That's it. That Most Haunted.
Yeah, Most Haunted. Love
so
that program.
they used to have the old video camera, didn't they, in the pitch night mode and walk around. And we did that. We did it once in Key's mum and dad's house, and we were like, my friend was kept saying, if there is anybody out there, please let us know and all this. Anyway, turns out, talking to Key's mum about it in the past, that she reckons there was a soldier that used to walk around in their house and that she'd seen him, like an actual soldier. And I was like, no, I'm not having it. But her next door neighbour, Key's old next door neighbour, go one better. A guy used to walk around his house when he was there, and one of our friends was adamant that he see him and would never ever sleep upstairs in his house ever again. Adamant. He was standing at the end of his bed looking at him.
You know when kids see stuff in like horror films and whatever. So when Jensen was younger, we were in our older house. He was in the garden and he was talking to someone. And I said, "Who are you talking to?" He said, "The man." I'm like, "What do you mean, the man?" He said,
"I'll be like, see you later, we're moving."
Yeah. I said, "What's he saying?" He said, "I can't understand him. He's talking funny." And then I said, "What does he look like?" He said, "Oh, he's wearing a uniform." So I thought he was a soldier or something.
Yeah.
And then I literally grabbed him, put him in the car, drove him up the road. That's how weird I am. Amy was pissing herself when I told her this. I drove to the church where the guy that christened him, the what are they called? Priest. And I knocked the door and I was like, "Hi, it's Lewis." He's like, "Hi, how's it going?" "Yeah, God bless you." Blah, blah. I said, "You christened my son and he's seeing dead people." I said, "Can you fix him?" And he looked at me really funny and he said, "It doesn't quite work like that, Mr. Williams. You've got to I was like, "Oh, okay." And then we ended up leaving. But that was a weird day.
That's mad. We took so that Most Haunted used to obviously go around the UK, didn't they, and do like shows all around the UK, Britain's Most Haunted, blah blah blah. And there's a place called Tilbury Fort, and you can search it up. And it's an old fort on the River Thames in Tilbury. We used to take our dog down there to walk round. Well, this one Halloween, they opened it up for the public to go in there. And what you could do is walk in there. You pay a bit of money, walk in there, and you go into the corridors of the fort and walk through. When I used to go running, and I used to in the summer, and I run around there. If I went a bit later and it was just starting to get dark, you could hear like things banging on the bars of the fort. Like it's like a bit of a prison in areas.
No way.
And it used to scare the crap out of me. Well, anyway, this Halloween, we went down there. Key went to me, "Take Josh down there with Dave and Oliver and other people we know. Josh and Oliver were the same age. They were about 3 or 4 years old, probably.
We'll take your pure and innocent children down to the spooky haunted place.
So we took them down there. Well, everyone was queuing up. So it wasn't just us with our young kids. There was other people with young kids.
Yeah.
But we took them down there. You walked into the fort, into this fort. As you walk through the corridors, you start to realise it's going to be one of them jump scare things. And there's like people dressed as zombies, as ghosts, as like old, I don't know, war veterans that are lost an arm, and they're all walking around there like these actors, really well dressed up. Obviously, they clock you've got a little kid. They don't do anything. Well, as we walk past this, it was like a girl. As we walk past this girl, because she obviously see Josh and Oliver, she didn't do anything. The people behind us, she just went. Jump scared these people like because obviously the people see us walk past her thinking, "Oh, she's not going to do anything." She's obviously then let out this big scream. Josh's face, he turned around and he was like, tears just run down his face.
Oh, I love him.
And I was like,
"Oh no,
we better get out of here." Like he all of a sudden went, "Dad, he's like, "Dad, I don't want to be here no more. I want to get out of here." Scared the living Jesus out of the two kids. Poor things.
Hey, we had something weird in my work when we had a radio, and the radio used to talk to us, and it used to talk so bad that my boss binned it. I was all up for it. I was having so much fun. I was like, "Oh, the haunted radio," and I was asking this stuff all the time. I think it spooked him out, and he got rid of it.
That's mad. It's absolutely mad.
I was in the office before, and they were, I think there's a girl I work with, and we were talking there one day, and we were telling this other guy, Paul his name is, and we said that the radio's haunted, and he was like, nah, what are you? He said, right, shut the door. And he shut the door. We said, are you haunted, radio? Is there someone there? And then, you know, when it's playing the radio, and then it goes all croaky and went, and then
Yeah.
when you watch horror films and it picks like words up from certain radio stations.
Yeah.
And it just goes blank. He goes, yes. And they said yes, and he was like, oh my God.
Oh.
And then loads of stuff happened. But the one really freaky one, it was like 10 minutes after all this happened. And this one girl, Fliss, she said, what'd she say? It was something like, if it's really haunted, you tell me if my mum's going to ring me. And they went, yes, she is. And then her mum rang her or something weird like that. And it was like so spooky. And we told everyone.
No.
I was like, don't get rid of the radio. It's like, it's amazing. It's the best entertainment we have all day.
It's back to the future.
Like, no, it's all.
That's mad. It's honestly, it's absolute crazy. It's just, yeah, I don't know, like ghosts. There's got to be something out there. It can't be just us, can it? Can't be.
I never get why people get scared though, because like if you ever watch anything haunted or any like stuff happens and it's meant to be bad, but you never see people just get scared, don't they? And what's the like for me getting scared is like entertaining. I think it's funny.
Yeah, but but then you watch things like Paranormal Activity, and that's just on another level. It's sort of like people getting dragged out. They all say the same
thing. They all say the same thing. To put the comic spiel on it, they all go like, yeah, we're searching for ghosts and always getting warmer. Oh, we've heard a noise, and then the lights go out, or like a bulb goes, like something small, like a bulb goes, or they can't see what's going on. They go, I'm hot. I can't catch my breath, and I need to sit down, and I need a new bulb.
But you know, you're right. But you know, like what's funny about it now?
An empty room, mate.
You know what's funny about it now though? You look at the Blair Witch Project being a prime example, right? When we was younger and the Blair Witch Project came out, what, the 90s, the late 90s, late 90s, was it the Blair Witch Project? Something like Blair Witch Project?
Yeah, there's massive stink about that, wasn't there?
And it came out, and it was a real badly filmed. But it was meant to be like that, wasn't it? It's meant to be like that.
Yeah, it was early days with all the video and stuff, wasn't it?
But when at the end, obviously, everything happens and it all goes wrong, and you're like, "Wow, that was a bit mad. Like that could happen." It's a bit sort of surreal, isn't it? Whereas you watch it now and you think it is the worst film. My daughter watched it because she said she likes scary stuff. She watched it and went, worst film I've ever seen.
Yeah, for them, it's like they're advanced now. They're like the newer generation. That won't be scary to them now. But
yeah, it's mad. It is crazy. I do find it.
You know, I mentioned to you the other day. I gotta say, because I know we're getting on to like, what are we on, 40 minutes or
43 minutes, something like
that. I gotta say, I said to you the other day about that the Welsh train station, that the stupidly long name.
Yeah,
I can't pronounce it.
Yeah, but
I got it for you. Do you want to hear it?
Go on. I need to hear. No way. That is not real.
That's legit. That's legit. That's it.
What?
Imagine catching that train.
The next station will be. Play the clip.
Mate, how big's the ticket to have that on there?
Honestly, that is unreal. Like you show me when he so Lou will post it on the Twitter, the name of the station. He'll post a picture of the name of the station on the Twitter for people that don't know.
Have you seen the sign? Did I send you the sign?
Yeah, you sent me the sign. So that's what I'm saying. You can post that on the Twitter page because that is just when he showed me it, I thought he was having a laugh. The sign is about 4 of a standard train station sign. So most train stations, it will say, I don't know, Wellwyn Gardens City or something like that, and it will have all that on one sign. This one has got about 4 signs to have that whole word on it. I didn't believe it was a real station. That's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So
if you stand, well, hang on. I'll go stand at the other end of it and see if you can hear me. Pete. Can you hear me still?
He's playing with his toys today. Can't help himself. So I think on that note, Lou, I think we should wrap it up. We're about 45 minutes into it before we get any more toilet humour on the.
That's fine, but we didn't talk about anything serious this week.
We didn't, and I think we should apologise. We didn't talk about anything serious. It was very toilet humour.
I had something ready though.
Oh, go on then. Do you want to talk about it quickly?
Serious moment. Peter Main's serious moment. I'm saying I sound like the guy from the X Factor.
So what's your serious moment then?
I don't know. I haven't got one. I just wanted to use my clip. We'll save that for next week.
We'll save it for next week. But yeah,
Main's serious moment.
so we're gonna have a new. It sounds like we're gonna have a new segment. My serious moments in the next podcast episode. Is that what it's going to be?
Yeah. Lastly, I got to tell you, I know we're still recording and we want to finish up, but did you see the guy? You know the train, because you go to King's Cross, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you see the guy try and run into the wall?
No, I didn't.
There was a guy on TikTok and he literally jumped this barrier and ran and tried to jump through the wall and went, "Oh, it's not working today," and then walked off.
That's ridiculous. There's the queue for that wall to have a picture done on that wall is ridiculous. Every single day, the queue is. In the morning, I could actually go up to that wall in the morning, but they take the trolley away, so it'll be just me with a picture of a wall. But then when I come of an evening, when I come back, there's always the trolley's back. But yeah, let's wrap it up. We didn't have any serious moments. I had a lot to talk about. I had other things to talk about, but we got bogged down with toilet humour. We'll save it for the next episode.
What did you drink this? You drinking bed?
No, I got Madre. I've got a bit of an obsession with Madre.
Nice.
Yeah, a bit of an obsession.
I think you should drink the same thing next week.
Well, you tell me. You send me a message, and then I'll see if I can get hold of it.
Or I'll jump on the same wagon as you're on.
The same wagon.
me casa, you casa.
Fair enough. All right. Well, thanks very much for. Have you got an outro this week?
I don't have an outro this week, but I can just if you see you later, guys, all the way from the tunnel.
Let's wrap it up. Thanks very much, everybody. Don't forget, you can email us at seasonedhumour@gmail.com. Any comments, let us know. Appreciate you listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.